All right, so the next thing I want to talk about, I have not personally played this game, but a few of you guys have come on the channel. A few of you guys have asked if I'm going to check it out. A few of you guys have asked, are you going to play it? It's Helldivers 2. I've seen reviews for it. JKB, shout outs to JKB, friend of the channel. He made a review of it, and I was like, okay, I might check it out. But now, Xbox boss Phil Spencer, shout outs to Phil Spencer. He's not a fan of the PS5 exclusivity of Helldivers 2. Which is essentially when you think of like everything that's going on with the studio acquisition wars, where Xbox bought Activision Blizzard, and that went into that huge, I guess, FCC, no, FTC. Is it FCC or FTC? FTC, I'm pretty sure. The whole FTC investigation and having to do all those court documents and things like that, where Microsoft is now having to share certain IPs and make IPs available like on Nintendo, like Call of Duty for the next decade and things like that. He went on to say that he doesn't think that PlayStation's exclusivity with Helldivers 2 and I guess PC as well is not beneficial for anyone, and that exclusivity, although it's really what's the word, a divisive topic when it comes to gaming, because people are like, oh, companies should have their exclusives and they shouldn't force this and that. It's been the topic du jour for like the last couple of years, ever since Microsoft started acquiring things like ZeniMax and so forth. But Helldivers 2 is a hit at this point, and I don't know. This quote that Phil Spencer had right here, he said, when I look at a game like Helldivers, and it's a great game, kudos to the team shipping on PC and PlayStation. I'm not exactly sure who it helps in the industry by not being on Xbox. If you try to twist yourself to say, like, somehow that benefited somebody somewhere. And it says Spencer did go on to note that he's aware Xbox has done the same thing, so he's not ignorant to the fact that a game like Starfield is only on Xbox and PC. He's also glad to see more games are being released on more platforms like PC, allowing Helldivers 2 to a wider audience. Xbox recently confirmed that it would be bringing 4 of its games to PS5 and Nintendo Switch in the near future. So this is touching in, I guess, on all the news that Xbox is going to be going multi-platform with some of its games. They didn't right out come with the announcement of the titles. You had rumors of Hi-Fi Rush, Permanent, Sea of Thieves, and I think the fourth one was Grounded. They did touch on it in that business update, which we've talked about a couple of times on the channel, where they said that the games that they are looking to make multi-platform are over a year old. They didn't get the, I guess, growth that they felt that the games deserve, that they feel that these games deserve a lot more of a player base. 2 of them are live service games with Grounded and Sea of Thieves. The other 2 are more of like a single player campaign type of game that they just felt were a little bit of hidden gems that nobody really explored. To me, none of them are really a nail in the coffin, because people were pushing this whole doom and gloom, they're going the way of Sega type of thing. I took a wait and see approach, and I was very satisfied. I'm a firm believer that games, to an extent, there's nothing wrong with having exclusives, especially if you take a look at like Nintendo's and Sony's libraries with their bangers. I think like the PlayStation 4 was just banger after banger after banger of like exclusive hit. And then you look at like what Nintendo's had with nearly all their consoles. Switch itself has had some fucking bangers on it as far as like first party exclusives. Xbox, not so much throughout the years. Now, is this quote that Phil Spencer saying, does it sound a little salty? Saying, oh, Helldivers 2 being exclusive doesn't help anyone. Does it sound a little salty? Possibly, but when you look at like the type of game that Helldivers 2 is, and I believe it's a live service game. I believe it is, right? Maybe he's kind of hinting towards like the approach that they're taking for games like Sea of Thieves and Grounded and stuff like that. That, hey, if it's a live service game, it's not doing anybody favors. You could build a much bigger gamer player base with a live service game being cross-play, being cross-platform, having accessibility for everybody on different consoles. Like, look at like games like Warzone. Look at games like Fortnite. I know not everybody likes either one of those games, but look at some of these genres. PUBG, big, huge games that people could play across like every single device that they have and play anybody at any time, anywhere. And they're humongous. Say what you want about like Fortnite. Oh, it's for 11-year-old kids, this and that. And they're getting back on the iOS in Europe. Eventually, I think they'll come back to the United States. But they're getting their footing back. Warzone, of course, is always great. And now that Call of Duty is owned by Xbox, essentially, with, the acquisition of Activision Blizzard, they're taking this multi-platform approach for certain games. I personally feel that if they took the approach of anything that's online multiplayer or live service, if you keep those cross-platform, I think that's a fucking fantastic idea. They want this whole, players could be able to play with anyone, anytime, anywhere, on any device. I think that's awesome when you look into that ecosystem. Of course, you still need your exclusives, all right? To me, an exclusive should be a single-player game, something that's big, something that's like a good adventure, or a title or a franchise that is just known for single player, like a Ratchet and Clank, or a God of War, or a Legend of Zelda. You know what I mean? Now, of course, there are games like GTA that has both a single player and an online thing. That's where you have to find like a happy medium, right? By all means, at this point, I think GTA Online should be cross-play. No matter what. Cross-play, cross-platform, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know the difference between those two terms. But GTA Online players should be able to play with people on other devices. I don't know why they haven't had that. That game makes so much fucking money. I feel they're kind of holding themselves back by not having it be cross-play. To an extent, I think the player base could be extended. Because, we have these rumors of GTA 6 coming out in 2025, which I think that's going to be delayed still. But what's going to go on with GTA Online? Are they going to make a new version of GTA Online? If they don't have crossplay on that, I think they're dropping the ball once again. That's just my humble opinion. But I can see where Phil Spencer's coming with this whole, Helldivers 2 being exclusive to PlayStation and PC is not benefiting anyone. To an extent, I'm not sure the scope of Helldivers, how big of a game it is. I just know that it's gotten some critical acclaim. I've known that it's gotten praise. I've not seen anybody say one bad thing about Helldivers 2. Again, I've yet to play it. I could see the point of view, but also I could see maybe, like, if you really want to be a little devil's advocate, maybe he is a little salty about certain things. Yeah, I have no clue, but, exclusivity is definitely a divisive topic when it comes to the gaming industry. I've yet to play it. If anybody watching this has played Helldivers 2, gas me up on how it's been going. Gas me up. It's been a while since you've played Warzone. Yeah, me too. Honestly, since the Nick Merck situation happened, I guess last year sometime. I don't even remember how long ago that Nick Merck's situation went. But since that happened, I hadn't touched a Call of Duty game. I I just kind of like didn't play the last couple seasons of Modern Warfare 2, and I have not played Modern Warfare 3 at this point. I've just kind of left it to the side, haven't touched it. I'm just kind of like, I don't know. There was something really grindy on top of the last battle passes that were on Modern Warfare 2 as well. Like, I wasn't feeling the game for a reason. I don't know if Modern Warfare 3 is better. I thought I saw a lot of issues at launch for it. I'm not sure if the game is much better. To me, it's after a while, I don't even really focus on anything but the multiplayer aspect of it. And I wish that the multiplayer was a little bit more streamlined for multi-platform. I'm getting a lot of multis here. I'm getting tongue-tied, multi-tongue-tied over multi-platform playing. I'm just messing with you guys. So yeah, just interesting talk when it comes to the whole the landscape of gaming is definitely changing here, guys. It's changing, especially when you're thinking of companies going multi-platform and stuff. And I was personally glad to hear that Indiana Jones and Starfield would be staying exclusive to Xbox. I was like, thank God, because I felt those would have definitely been nails in the coffin for Xbox. And if Halo or Fable or Gears or even Forza went, those are nails in the coffin, guys. Like, if any of those games went to PlayStation, it would be like, what's the point of having an Xbox at this point? And I think to a certain extent, you have to be selfish with some of your IPs. You have to be like, yo, I'm stopping it there. That's not going to the competition, because competition sparks creativity. That's a phrase that has been thrown around recently. And I always turn it back to, like, when you look at wrestling and when WCW got bought out, ECW's assets got bought out. It just kind of became too much of a, I guess, what's that? Not conglomerate, but like a whole bunch of like a huge, like a everything everywhere in one place. Just fight. Like initially, yeah, it felt cool, but it quickly kind of burnt itself out, and it quickly just became, I don't know, not enough variety. So if PlayStation was to own or have access to the rights to certain games that were Xbox exclusive at one point, it would just feel a little too much. If something like a Hi-Fi Rush, something like a Sea of Thieves, I'm perfectly fine with, because again, those aren't nails in the coffin for me. Sea of Thieves is a game that I feel would benefit getting a bigger player base online by being on multiple platforms. I saw the potential in it, and it seems like initially Xbox was pushing Sea of Thieves, and then they just kind of like dropped it silently. There was a Pirates of the Caribbean update that I don't even recall being a thing. I mean, when you have like a Disney update and you don't hear shit about it, that's concerning. I mean, look at Fortnite right now. They just announced like an Epic Games, Disney, not a merger, but like a collaboration coming out. Like, there's gonna be a Disney Fortnite collaboration, like a whole brand new mode, a whole new game coming, and it's teasing like an open world Disney theme park aspect of it. So definitely, I think we're at the point in the industry where things are going to be changing and shaping up to be a lot different than what they used to be. And it's for us gamers that are like 80s kids, 90s kids, even the 70s kids to an extent. It's a change. We're used to the console wars. A lot of us used to fight people on the playground over Sega versus Nintendo. I remember seeing kids fight over what version of Mortal Kombat was better. I remember seeing people fighting over, Sega does what Nintendo don't. And, these little Nintendo fanboys get upset and argue over what's going on.